Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Arvind Biology Classes or Arvind Educations. Thank you for watching my videos. For more updates, please subscribe my channel Arvind Biology Classes or Arvind Education. Let us see Krebs cycle. The second one, Krebs cycle, also called as citric acid cycle, also called as TCA cycle. TCA cycle means tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay. Now, this particular Krebs cycle is explained by Sir Hans Krebs. Okay, Sir Hans Krebs, somewhere in 1937, and he got a Nobel Prize for this in 1953. Okay, so on his name, it is called as Krebs cycle. Let us see. Now, by the end of glycolysis, we got pyruvic acid. So, we need to continue with pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid is converted to form as acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A by undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, means NAD is converted to form as NADH2 and carbon dioxide is released. Of course, coenzyme A is added here. Okay, so this is a 3-carbon compound. 3-carbon compound is converted to form as a 2-carbon compound. How? By losing one carbon dioxide. So by losing one carbon dioxide, so removal of carbon dioxide here is called decarboxylation. Okay. Then pyruvic acid also undergo oxidation by releasing hydrogen ions. So H2 is lost from pyruvic acid. So it is now converted to form as acetyl. Okay. Now this H2 is taken by a ready-made electron acceptor, that is NAD. So it leads to the formation of NADH2. So it undergo oxidation. So pyruvic acid, by undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, oxidation by losing H2 that was taken by NAD, so you got energy rich substance NADH2. And decarboxylation by losing one carbon dioxide, carbon number is reduced. So 3-carbon compound turned into 2-carbon compound. So now this acetyl coenzyme A enters into citric acid cycle. Actually, acetyl coenzyme A is considered as connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Now this acetyl coenzyme A undergoes several reactions in order to form so many energy rich substances. Let us discuss those reactions. So acetyl coenzyme A, by combining with a 4-carbon compound called oxaloacetic acid, this is a 4-carbon compound. By combining with this oxaloacetic acid OAA, this 4-carbon compound and 2-carbon compound combined together and leads to the formation of a first stable compound that is called citric acid, which is a 6-carbon compound. Okay, as the first stable compound here in this cycle is formed is citric acid, that's why this particular cycle is also called as citric acid cycle. Why? Because when pyruvic acid is converted to form as acetyl coenzyme A, a 2-carbon compound cannot undergo those many reactions to form more number of energy rich substances. So that is the reason why it will take the help of a 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. Oxaloacetic acid combines with acetyl coenzyme A. So these two are condensed, combined together and leads to the formation of citric acid. So this step is called condensation. Okay. So during this process, coenzyme A is released outside again. Coenzyme A is released and the remaining compound is called citric acid. Now, citric acid is converted to form as cis aconitic acid by losing water. Cis aconitic acid converted to form as isocitric acid. Isocitric acid converted to form as oxalosuccinic acid. Oxalosuccinic acid is converted to form as alpha ketoglutaric acid. Now alpha ketoglutaric acid is converted to form as succinic acid. Succinic acid is converted to form as fumaric acid, and fumaric acid leads to the formation of malic acid, and malic acid is again converted to form as oxaloacetic acid. Now here water is added, and here NaDH2 is formed, and here one carbon dioxide is removed, here one more carbon dioxide is removed, then one more NaDH2 is formed, and here even GDP is converted to form as GTP, and here FAD is converted to form as FADH2, and here water is added, and here one more NaDH2 is formed. Let us discuss. Right? I told you pyruvic acid, a 3-carbon compound, by undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, it leads to the formation of acetyl coenzyme A 2-carbon compound. This 2-carbon compound, by condensed with, when it is added with oxaloacetic acid, a 4-carbon compound, it leads to the formation of citric acid. Citric acid, by losing water, right? That means it is undergoing dehydration and leads to the formation of cis aconitic acid. Number of carbons remains similar. There is no energy production, no energy consumption. Even in the previous step also, when these two are combined, there is no energy production, there is no energy consumption. Now for cis aconic acid, water is added. Okay, so addition of water is called hydration. Now it leads to the formation of number of carbons remain similar, and it leads to the formation of isocitric acid. Cis aconic acid, by addition of water, it leads to the formation of isocitric acid. Now this isocitric acid, 6-carbon compound, undergo oxidation, right? It undergo oxidation, and it leads to the formation of oxalosuccinic acid, another 6-carbon compound. But as isocitric acid undergone oxidation, hydrogen ions are released, which are accepted immediately by NAD. So you got another energy rich substance, that is NADH2 is formed. Okay, then it leads to the formation of oxalosuccinic acid. Oxalosuccinic acid, a 6-carbon compound, undergo decarboxylation. It undergo decarboxylation, means carbon group is removed. Now it is a 5-carbon compound. Okay, now this 5-carbon compound is called alpha ketoglutaric acid. Now here no energy production or consumption, but carbon number is reduced. 6-carbon compound is reduced to form as a 5-carbon compound. Now this 5-carbon compound, alpha ketoglutaric acid, by removing one carbon, again one carbon dioxide is lost, so number of carbons here remains as 4. Succinic acid is a 4-carbon compound, as one carbon dioxide is lost. So as one carbon dioxide is lost, we will consider this as decarboxylation. So it undergo decarboxylation step. Okay, then again NAD is converted to form as NADH2. That means it is again undergoing one more oxidation step. So hydrogen ions are released. hydrogen ions which are released from ketoglutaric acid accepted by NAD, so NADH2 is formed, so it undergo oxidation. So ketoglutaric acid, by undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, during oxidation H2 is released, which is taken by NAD, so you got one more energy rich substance, that is NADH2. Carbon dioxide is removed, that's why 5 carbon compound turned into 4 carbon compound, so that is decarboxylation. So by undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, ketoglutaric acid is converted to form as succinic acid, and during the same step GDP is converted to form as GTP. An inorganic phosphate is added at this particular stage, so GDP, by accepting inorganic phosphate, it leads to the formation of GTP. Now this succinic acid, a 4 carbon compound, again by losing hydrogen ions here, right, by losing that H2, is converted to form as fumaric acid. Number of carbons remains same 4. This H2 this time taken by another electron acceptor, that is called FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide, and it is reduced to form as FADH2. FADH2 is formed. Okay, so far we got NADH2 and here FADH2 is what we got. Now this fumaric acid, okay, so we will call this as again oxidation only, because removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. So succinic acid, by undergoing oxidation, leads to the formation of fumaric acid. The hydrogen ions which are released taken by FAD, and it leads to the formation of FADH2. Now this fumaric acid, with the addition of water, so that means it undergo hydration, and it leads to the formation of malic acid. Number of carbons remain same 4. There is no energy production and there is no energy consumption. Malic acid, by undergoing again oxidation, means H2 is removed here, which is taken by another electron carrier, that is NAD, and it leads to the formation of NADH2. The remaining compound, malic acid, is converted to form as oxaloacetic acid. So again you got a 4 carbon compound, so that one more cyclic equations will be seen. Okay, so one more cyclic reactions will be continued, right? Now what I want to tell you here is that this particular pyruvic acid, by undergoing, means acetyl coenzyme A, by undergoing these many reactions, it leads to the formation of these many energy rich substances. Okay, so by the end of this, including the connecting step between glycolysis and Krebs cycle, we will count the energy rich substances and carbon dioxides. When you see the number of carbon dioxides, okay, so there is one carbon dioxide here, second carbon dioxide, third carbon dioxide. That means from one pyruvic acid you are going to see the production of 3 carbon dioxide. 3 carbon dioxides are released. Then let us see energy rich substances. Okay, energy rich substances, let us take NADH2. There is one in the connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle, one NADH2. Then there is a second NADH2, then there is third NADH2 and fourth NADH2. So 4 NADH2, 3 are formed during Krebs cycle, 1 NADH is formed near the connecting link of glycolysis and Krebs cycle. So 4 NADH2 are formed. Along with that, we got one FADH2. So let us take one FADH2, and we got even one GTP also, that is also energy rich substance. So let us take one GTP. Okay, that means when one pyruvic acid undergo these many reactions, it leads to the formation of 3 carbon dioxides, 4 NADH2, 1 FADH2 and 1 GTP. But remember, by the end of glycolysis, we got 2 pyruvic acids. So from one pyruvic acid, if we get all these compounds, so from the second pyruvic acid also we will get the same thing. That means our products will be doubled. Okay, so you will get, by the end of Krebs cycle, you will get 6 carbon dioxides, 8 NADH2 and 2FADH2 and 2GTP. These are the end products of Krebs cycle, which was explained by Mr. Sir Hans Krebs. So on his name it is called as Krebs cycle. Okay. Then the first formed stable compound in this cycle is citric acid. So that's why this is also called as citric acid cycle. Then there is another name, TCA cycle. TCA means tricarboxylic acid cycle. Means 3 COOH groups are there. 3 COOH groups. Structurally, this particular citric acid possesses 3 carboxylic acids in its structure. So that's why this particular cycle is also called as tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay. Now, in intermediate, each and every step is very important. You need to remember all these metabolic intermediates in a sequential order. So there is a code to remember this, which was told by my sir when I am in intermediate. Okay, so that is cricket captain of India. Okay, send fund by money order. Okay, a small code to remember this. You need to consider the first letter of these terms. So cricket captain of is helping word, I, OK, send fund the helping word, money order. Okay, so C is citric acid, another C, captain, C is cis-aconitic acid, of helping word I said. So India, I, isocitric acid, O, OK, O, oxalosuccinic acid, K, ketoglutaric acid, send, S, succinic acid, fund, F, fumaric acid, by helping word, M, malic acid, O, oxaloacetic acid. So that helps you to remember these acids in a sequential order. Okay, if you are interested, you can remember it, otherwise no need. But the end products of Krebs cycle are 6 CO2, 8 NADH2, 2 FADH2 and 2 GTP. Okay, we started mechanism of cellular respiration to see the production of ATPs, but instead of ATPs, along with ATPs, of course, in glycolysis, we are getting other energy rich substances like NADH2, FADH2 and GTP. So we need to see the conversion of these energy rich substances into ATPs. So that final conversion of these energy rich substances into ATPs is seen in mitochondrial elementary particles, and that occurs through electron transport system where terminal oxidation is involved. Okay, where oxidative phosphorylation occurs, that leads to the formation of ATP. So that we will see the third step, that is electron transport system. Okay.